On this episode of the Bronze Metalist podcast, we talk about Fool's Game by Mordred.
I'm OJ.
Fuck you. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Bronze Medalist podcast. I'm Kale. Fucking say your name. Say your name, shithead.
I'm OJ.
And
Sorry,
we're two professional broadcasters.
If it's not obvious.
We like metal and we like to talk about it. And sometimes when you're a professional broadcaster, you forget what you're going to say. So you do another take. And you count on your recording partner to not fuck up the take.
So see, here's where I
interrupt.
I go into back in my day. We didn't have that option. There was no pre-recording. There was no voice tracking.
Yes, I'm talking about doing production.
Sure. But I mean, when you're live and you're actually conversing and talking to an audience,
yes,
yeah,
you just keep going. But
yeah, you just fuck up and let it happen.
I don't know what it is when I record ads at work. I tend to just do the whole thing in one. I don't like to do them piecemeal. Mm-hmm. It's just I prefer. I think part of it is I'm really bad at like finding the same tone as I used before. Sure. And so to me, it sounds disjointed, even though you put a music bed on there, no one's ever going to fucking know the difference. No. But it bothers me because I have to listen to the fucking thing over and over again while I'm editing it and over and over again, during the workday. So I prefer to just do the whole thing in one. Number one, also, because then if it's too long and I need to say it faster, then I can say every single thing faster.
Sure.
And it's, that can be an issue.
I've grown to like, I prefer it that way too. I prefer to actually say the whole 30-second spot and then,
do it in one.
Do it in one take. But
do it live.
Fuck it. I've kind of grown to love Frankenstein voiceover a little bit.
I guess. I
mean, I like to, as like we used to do in the day, back when we used to have tape and a razor blade, you could overlap words and things.
Yeah.
Doing that. And we can do it a lot easier now, obviously, now that we have these computers.
These old computers.
But yeah.
Pooters.
Especially when you're doing something with a lot of items. It's a sale going on this weekend. And,
yeah.
And you got like 500 different sale items in there.
Yeah.
And you got to get it all in 30 seconds.
Then, yeah, you can overlap a little bit. I tend not to overlap. I usually just shorten. But if it's like something that desperately needs to be shorter, then, I'll overlap it and cut it apart. I'll still record it all in one.
Right.
But I'll just have little gaps in between and then, just edit it that way. I don't know. We're talking shop right now. These are things that don't really make sense to people who don't work with audio.
I'll tell you this before we talk about something people will enjoy. We used to have a saying called Western beefing it.
Western beefing? That sounds kind of sexual?
Yeah, it kind of does, but sadly, no, it's not sexual. It has to do with a much younger Shane Parsons.
Okay.
Who at one time, what used to happen was there was this truck would come through town and weirdly always break down in the truck stop parking lot. Okay. With all this meat they had to get rid of now.
Oh, no.
And they were called Western beef, and they were just so bad at maintaining their semi-trucks because they always broke down in exactly the same place and had the same amount of meat in them that we got to get rid of now. Our truck broke down.
Okay, I can't wait. It's
come to our truck at the truck stop parking lot and get ribeyes, flank steaks, and of course they had all these different cuts of beef they wanted mentioned with prices.
Yes,
and so Shane at the time was. He was the top of his game. Yes. He did like a 15-line ad in 30 seconds.
Jesus fuck.
He Western beefed, and from then on I was like, well, I'm gonna have to fucking Western beef this thing.
Looks like we're Western beefing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Pam sent us an ad. Looks like I'm Western beefing it. Every fucking time.
Thanks, Pam. Oh, hey guys. Can I get you to add something in there for me?
I saw her real human face the other day.
Did you really?
Yeah.
What does it look like? I haven't seen her for years.
She looked the same as the last time I saw her 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
I didn't notice anything in particular. She
had a big bushy beard.
She had a cane next to her in her car.
It's because her hips are shot.
But yeah, a coworker of ours who none of us have seen in person since the start of the pandemic. Back in March of 2020. God, that's a long time ago. It feels like. Yeah. But yeah, none of us have seen her since then. And she pulled up in her car the other day to deliver some sales, some whatever. Some info, some pieces of paper, some documents.
She was doing billing.
Billing.
She was doing billing.
Thank you. Billing. Yeah. That's what it was. She was delivering billing information. And I was walking back from lunch and I was like, oh my God, that's Pam.
I haven't seen that face in forever.
Now that's a name I haven't heard. And we were talking about her before I went to lunch. So that's a face I haven't seen in a long time.
There's a story that's been running in the back of my head that maybe, just maybe, because it wouldn't be, and I'm not denigrating the woman so much right now. I'm just saying that maybe somebody helped her out by uploading her personality to some form of AI. and now that's what's been running for the last year and a half.
Pam 3000.
Pam 3000. She's sadly passed on, and now we're just getting phone calls from
her digital ghost.
Yeah.
Hey. What is it? Hey, Paul. I can't let you do that. I'm real sorry. It's like the weirdest version of
Jigsaw? No.
What? What's the character's name in fucking Space Odyssey? Is his name Paul?
No.
I was getting confused with Dune. It's Dave. Yes.
Dave Atreides.
David Atreides. Famously the star of 2080: A Space Odyssey.
I think he's Greek, isn't he?
Yeah, sure. What's up, Dave Atreides?
Where are you going, Dave? Or Carol Atreides?
Sorry, Dave. I can't let you do that. It'd be funny if she had a client named Dave and she said that.
I have no doubt that she has at least one Dave client.
Exactly. What have you been up to other than, work stuff?
I mean,
I forgot how to talk to my friend.
And me. We have we had 4th of July, obviously.
Yeah, yes. This is how regular human beings converse.
Right.
When there's a big holiday that happened recently, you ask, how did you spend the holiday?
I spent the holiday. Okay, this holiday, because I don't really celebrate holidays. Every day is a holiday for me.
Like the album.
It's called a foreshadowing. So anyway.
What'd you do, dickhead?
We drove around, Max and I, my youngest child, we went and we bought a whole bunch of fireworks.
Okay.
And we were going to go let them off. And I'm like, I know where all the spots are where you can go do fireworks. Ha ha! I did fireworks all the time when I was a teenager. And then I drove by all those spots. And I remember, oh yeah, I pissed off people here doing fireworks. Oh yeah, and I angered a family over here doing fireworks. Oh yeah, and the cops almost arrested me here for doing fireworks. I can't do fireworks in any of these fucking places because
I never could.
That was
I
never
was just
actually
a
an
shitty
option.
teenager and didn't care.
It was rude and didn't have feelings about people. Now that I'm older. And
so what did you do?
We put probably about 70 miles in my car looking for places where we could go light up fireworks. And you know what? The whole time we're eating like jerky and drinking pop and
bonding
and laughing and driving around, and I actually got lost for a while.
Nice.
It was fun.
Did you end up setting off the fireworks?
Nope.
You still just have a bunch of fireworks?
I still have. They're in my towel hamper. They're in my.
Oh my God. What a great place for a bunch of fireworks.
I mean,
towel hamper.
Well, I mean the towel, the door where you open up and there's towels.
A
closet, maybe?
Well, a closet. There's a specific, like a linen closet.
Right. Yeah. That sort of thing.
It would specifically be for where, you have bathroom cloths.
Right.
For drying off and whatnot. And
Right.
hand towels, a linen closet.
And fireworks.
And fireworks, obviously.
Which I told him that we were going to do this weekend, but then it dawned on my ex-wife there that it's her mother's birthday. And, you know, her mother's, she's alone now, and she's older because we're old people. So obviously her mother's going to be an older person as well.
Yes.
So she's like, I don't want to miss my mom's birthday. And, you know, the kids don't
take these fireworks and celebrate.
Yeah. Take these fireworks over the Canadian border.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah. With these kids you're stealing.
What's the worst that could happen? What's the worst that could happen?
Here, how about these amphetamines? You should take those with you as well.
Yeah, take these drugs. It's fine.
It's fine.
They're cool about it up there.
Yeah, Canadians love drugs and fireworks.
Absolutely.
That's where I go get all my drugs and fireworks.
It's Canada.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, one of those, there's at least one drug you can go to Canada and get legally.
Sure, but you got to smoke it there.
But again, who's gonna check?
Yeah, right. They don't shove a flashlight up your ass when you're coming over the American border.
No one checks that sort of. No. Not when you're coming back from Canada.
No. And I remember we were coming back from Canada one time, and I dealt blackjack. And it was me and Shane and some other asshole, and
apparently not memorable enough to be anything other than some other asshole.
There's a reason I don't really remember.
Okay,
but we're coming back over the border, and they just asked us, "What are your names?" You see some IDs. What do you guys do for a living? And Shane was like, "I'm a broadcaster," and he looked at me, my long hair, my long goatee, said, "I'm a dealer." And he said, "Excuse me, blackjack cards. I work for a charity." Fuck.
What a beautiful faux pas.
Yeah.
That's look, you can't lie to a cop, okay? Yeah. It's a crime.
Sure you can. That's what my dad was in law enforcement for many decades. Mm-hmm. And that's what his earliest advice he gave me. Son, no matter what to tell you, you can always lie to the cops. That's not a crime.
Don't worry, son. It's fine.
Yeah, when they say, if you had anything to drink, the answer is always no.
No matter what.
No matter what. You could be holding a drink in your hand at the time.
Look, I haven't had any yet.
Yeah, no, I just opened this.
I spilled some. That's why it's half empty.
Into my face.
And some of it got in my mouth. But that didn't count as me drinking.
Right. I didn't put my lips to the can.
Yeah. It doesn't count as drinking it if it doesn't touch your mouth.
Right.
So you can just Jordan that thing. You can just skyhook that into your mouth.
Yeah. And you're not drinking.
Fine. You're not drinking.
Right.
It's spilling into a very specific spot.
Yeah. It's a very hot day, officer.
Yeah. Just trying to cool off. That's
exactly.
All, with this sticky alcohol. What a great way to cool off. Yeah. Just pour beer all over yourself in the hot summer sun. Yeah. God, fucking disgusting.
Awful.
I went to my parents' house on the 4th of July. And we just hung out. Family was there. Sisters, kids, dogs. So many dogs. There's so many dogs in that house at the moment.
Really?
Because my sister is currently between houses, moving into a new house soon. So she's staying with my parents a lot. And her dogs are there a lot. And her dogs are so sweet, but they're they're very, very busy.
Sure.
They're running all over the place. But
now, did your sister end up selling the house? I remember there was an issue with that. Did that go through?
I think so. I just assume that it's all her stuff. All her stuff is in my parents' garage. So I would imagine yes. But I just assume, I know she's planning on moving into the new place soon, and that's the important thing.
Yeah. That
I got to help with. So I know the important part. That's
right.
So I can tell myself I've been a good sibling because I know at least the important thing that I need to help with.
My neighbor across the hall, by the way, has already enlisted me because
for moving out because she got an eviction notice.
Right. For the $25. And
God, that's such a Like on one hand, evicted over $25. On the other hand, evicted over $25.
Yeah. How? I mean,
like on both sides, it's like that feels like the small amount of money to evict someone over, but also it feels like a small amount of money not to pay.
Right. How did you let your gas bill go more than a month and not find 27? And I mean, she's a waitress.
Times are tough. I get it.
Right. Because I was talking to her. She came home the other day, and by the way, she's a pack rat. I didn't realize that.
Oh, okay.
She opened up her house, and there's the kind of old milk smell, and there's I mean, I'm moving. I'm like, I feel like this is more stuff than should have been in your apartment at all.
Yeah.
And anyway, whatever. No judgment. I've been there myself. Anyway,
got dirty glasses on the table we're talking over.
Yeah, exactly. There's a whole pot of spaghetti on the table that was not cooked today. And so, and she's telling me that she's a waitress and she tips in restaurants and things right now are absolute shit. I mean, she said she came home with $36 in tips for a day,
which not great.
That's not great at all. No,
pretty bad.
Most of the bills that the tickets given to the customers would have been more than that.
It's almost like the tipping is stupid, and instead restaurant staff should just be paid more.
Like regular people who work a job like they do.
Yeah, like that.
Wouldn't that be crazy?
Like the way it is everywhere else in the world, where you only tip someone if they've given you exceptional service, and otherwise you just assume that they get paid a human living wage.
Right. Yeah, I know. I always feel like I'd be an asshole if I go into this restaurant. I don't care what the service is like. I got to give them 20%.
Yeah,
because they're not making that from.
Literally always tip. And you should always tip no matter what in America, because their paycheck expects them to get tips. It's stupid. Like it's weird to me as an American to hear about like in other countries and like American tourists going like, I left a tip and they looked at me fucking weird. Right. They thought they thought I was being rude. It's like, no, it's the thing we do.
Right. And I hear a lot of people say it's not my job to pay their salary. I'm not going to tip at all. Well, it kind of is your job.
It is.
The owners, the system itself has thrown that ball into your lap.
It's stupid.
If you're going to go to a restaurant,
leave a fucking tip.
Leave a fucking tip. Or don't go to the goddamn restaurant, Mr. Pink.
I always feel, and is it a weird thing for you too, where like I feel, because I never carry cash on me, so I always just leave the tip on the check.
Right. Yeah.
That feels wrong to me. It like, even though I'm leaving a good amount on the check and writing it in, it's something about it. It doesn't feel right to not leave cash on the table. Not that I don't really go to restaurants where I get wait staff very often, but like I always leave a tip on the receipt. But
I mean, back when I was
something about it just doesn't feel right.
When I was running Guns and Whores, I always had a wad of cash on me, so it was not a problem.
Yes,
but since I've switched to LSD, I don't.
All those transactions are done digitally.
Those are Venmo
on the
sheet of acid. Venmo me.
It's all that gets taken care of on whatever has succeeded Silk Road. Since the kibosh got put on that, the only place where you could spend Bitcoin to buy drugs. People don't talk about that. How like the only place you could actually spend fucking Bitcoin for like a decade was to buy drugs on Silk Road. That was basically the only use for it.
And now Bitcoin is widely used by everyone.
I just don't fucking jinx it. I don't want that future.
Where Bitcoin is the standard?
Where cryptocurrency is in any way important in the average person's daily life.
Right.
I don't want that.
No.
I don't want that at all. But yeah, I don't carry cash on me. So if I have cash, I'm going to leave some. But I just, it feels weird not leaving a physical tip.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. At the parents' place, we sat outside for a while. I got burnt a little bit, specifically on my kneecaps,
Really,
and the insides of my elbows. And that's
very weird.
Like my forearms were a little toasty, but and the burns have mostly faded now. This one's still a little red, but just my kneecaps and the insides of my elbows.
I'm trying to imagine what you were wearing at the moment.
It was just t-shirt and shorts.
Just my ski mask, my my bracers, my
I was dressed up to rob a Renaissance fair.
My shin guards,
I was wearing plate armor, but without knee pads and with no foundational garment underneath. So the gap at the elbow was just open down to skin.
Oh, it was hot, so.
So I'm just now like pantsless chaps outfit, the leather outfit with nothing underneath.
Assless chaps.
I didn't say assless chaps because I'm pedantic, because all chaps are assless.
That's true. You're right. All chaps are right, but pantless chaps.
Pantsless chaps with no pants underneath. That, but medieval, is a knight wearing full plate with nothing underneath it, which would also be extremely uncomfortable depending upon what temperature it is outside.
And also the previous point, I think assless chaps are chaps with pants on. Because if you're wearing pants and chaps, you can't see any ass.
So it would just be pants. Yeah, it would have to be. Yeah.
So ass chaps.
Assed chaps.
Assed chaps.
Assed chaps are just large leather pants.
Okay.
Sure. They're just leather pants that go over your regular pants.
Sure.
That's all they are. This is a weird tangent. Because now I'm just going, I can't stop thinking down this silly, stupid, abstract path that we've gotten ourselves down onto. Excuse me.
What time is it?
I don't know. Time to start talking about the album.
Sure.
How about that?
Let's do
Mordred,
that.
an American funk metal, thrash metal band, mostly thrash metal for this album.
Yes.
From the Bay Area, from San Francisco Bay Area. Very much Bay Area thrash influence on this record. Their style would kind of transition a little bit as you head into the mid 90s. The band would also stop being a thing at around the mid 90s. Sporadically, they come back together for very short periods of time before the band fully kind of coalesced again back in like late 2013, early 2014,
right?
Something like that. And they actually seem to have a new album that came out in 2021 called The Dark Parade. Which I don't know if you were aware of that.
I was not aware of that.
They have a new album out.
I was not aware of that. I was only the only album I've actually listened to by this band is this album.
Really?
Yeah.
This is I've never heard of these guys before. I guess like when I hear Mordred, I'm like, oh yeah, of course there's a metal band by that name. It's a character from Arthurian legend.
Sure.
Like every single one of those fuckers has a metal band named after them. Like I'm sure there's a metal band called Gawain. There's probably a power metal band called Lancelot.
Sure.
Like there's a power or folk metal band for every member of the round table, I'm sure.
But this is not that. This is not power or folk metal.
Yeah, this is funk metal, which is
this
is a funky thrash metal. How about that?
Thrash.
This is thrash metal.
Yeah. Not to be confused with the kind of metal that leaves an infection in your mouth.
Thrash metal.
Thrush metal.
God
thrush
damn
metal.
it. Yeah. Okay. It was obvious. It was right there.
Sorry.
Thrush metal.
Yeah.
So how did you get into this one album by these guys?
Columbia House.
What's Columbia House?
This is another Columbia House thing. Did I not explain Columbia House?
Probably have, but you might as well do it again.
Columbia House was...
Do it for them.
I'll do it for the crowd. Columbia House is this subscription thing from Columbia Records, and it was kind of a consolidation thing where you would join up and you would get this publication every month that would say, hey, and here's our record of the month. And you could sign up to get the record of the month. You could sign up you're more into like hip hop, more into country, more into rock and roll, more into metal. I was into metal. I checked that box. Mm-hmm. And you could when you signed up, you can get 15 CDs for $1. Wow. Yeah. Count me in. And then every month they would send you, unless you sent them in an envelope, a statement saying, no, don't send me the album of the month for $15. They charged you $15 to send you the album of the month.
Okay.
And then you received it in the mail, a CD. Oh shit. I forgot to send Columbia House a message saying I don't want the CD of the month.
Yes.
But now I owe them. And this is before the internet. So it was everything by mail.
Yes. You had to mail the money into them.
Yeah. And I could barely turn in homework when I was 16 years old.
But this was for metal.
And it would get, and it was in an era where record companies weren't really sure what that was.
Yes.
Yeah. So hey, we're doing metal. All right. Here's Mordred. All right. Oh, cool. This is actually, I enjoyed most of this. Oh, here's the new Rush album. That's metal adjacent.
But it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's Jethro Tull. The Grammys said it's metal.
So here you go. Oh, all right. So yeah, this is one of those albums. Actually, this is one of the 15 I checked the box on. I'm like, I don't know what this is. And I think it was because of the record company. Those were the days where you look at what record company it was through. Yeah. And if it was through this record company, it's like, I want that. I don't know what it is, but send it to me.
I don't know what record company it would have been. Because their individual albums do not have their own Wikipedia pages.
Oh, sure.
So it's the information on this band is slightly limited, at least from an easily accessible source that I don't have to do anything more than cursory digging for, because why put in any effort whatsoever?
Exactly. That's a job.
That's like a job. I already have one of those.
Yeah, but I really did enjoy this. I had this and I shared it with my friends, and I would listen to it every now and then. There were a couple of tracks on here that sort of threw me off. That sort of tarnished me, from listening to this a bit.
Oh, I was wondering I was wondering what you were trying to do there when you said tarnished that way.
It's the only way I can say it now.
Yeah.
Tarnished.
Arise, ye tarnished, ye dead who yet live. Just that extremely horny intro announcer for Elden Ring. But anyway, I was just that threw me off.
So I apologize.
You talking about getting thrown off of those songs by the weirdness.
That threw something shiny. Off. Yeah. Apologize.
How dare you? So yeah, this is a sort of interesting kind of early-ish fusion of sort of funky tunes.
Right. This is before that would have been a
thrash metal. Yeah, that really kind of took off in the 90s with bands like Primus and whatnot, and the birth of alternative metal, and you've got Mr. Bungle and Faith No More, and a lot of bands that like Primus is the funk metal band, and there are a lot of other alternative metal bands. Is it not appropriate to say that Primus is the funk metal band?
It's interesting because although he plays the bass in a
funky way,
in methods that funk bassists use, I think a lot of what he does is just weird and not funky. It's not something you would get up and
funk is kind of weird.
You wouldn't like groove to Primus. I don't know.
I could groove to Primus.
Yeah. Okay, you could groove to Primus. But
I think most Primus fans could absolutely groove to Primus. I can groove to fucking Meshuggah, my dude. Well,
yeah, Meshuggah is very funky, though.
Objectively, very funky. You go talk to Jack Stratton from Wolfpack, he'll tell you. Meshuggah's his favorite funk band.
That's his go-to.
Which at some point we need to talk about a Wolfpack album.
Every time it gets Meshuggah ear, it gets Meshuggah ear.
Meshuggah, but every time the polyrhythm changes, the time signature gets even more obtuse.
Right.
But
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in any case, like you got a lot of alternative metal bands in the 90s
Sure.
that incorporate on certain songs a little bit of funk here, a little bit of funk there, but it's hard to call them as a whole a funk metal band and easier to call them just an alternative metal band. Mm-hmm. And that's your Mr. Bungles, that's your Faith No Mores, and so on and so forth. And sort of that kind of births into new metal and rap metal.
There's a lot of funk in new metal, yeah.
That's where that goes. But this was long before any of that.
Yeah,
and the band wouldn't really live to see the heyday of this genre that they kind of spearhead.
Mm-hmm.
Because they stopped being a thing in like 1995.
But they're a thing. They were alive.
They were alive, yeah. Yes. But as a band, they didn't get to like ride the wave of this style becoming marginally more popular. Mm-hmm. In the sort of mainstream metal consciousness.
And there's really only 2 funk metal songs on this.
Yeah, there's not a lot of particularly funky tracks on here, but when they are funky, they're very it's not like the argument with what is it, Possessed, with like their earliest album where it's like, this is really a thrash metal album. But you can see where death metal kind of develops out of it a little bit. But you listen to it and you're like, this is a thrash metal album. Nobody listened to this and went, oh my God, this is a new genre. Yeah. Like, it's like, okay, this is still a thrash metal
but with
album.
A new kind of flavor.
A slightly new flavor to it.
Which is funny. It's the same guitar player when you're talking about Possessed and Primus. But I mean...
Really?
Larry Lalonde was... the lead guitar player for Possessed.
Okay. It is Possessed I'm thinking of that's like vies for the title of first death metal band with Death.
Right. You are correct.
But in any case, like the funky songs on here, you don't have that situation where it's ambiguous. It's like, oh yeah, this is funk metal.
Right.
Like the couple of really funky tracks, like, oh, this is funk metal right here.
One of which is a cover.
Yes. I wasn't expecting. I started hearing that and was like, what the fuck? I liked it a lot better than the last fucking, or I guess it was two of your episodes ago with the band that did the cover of you're
talking about
Simon and Garfunkel.
Yeah, I'm talking about Nevermore.
Yeah, Nevermore doing Sound of Silence.
Sound of Silence, right.
Like that made me go, what the fuck, because I was disgusted. This made me go, what the fuck, because I was interested in like, why this? Why this song? But hey, at least the original song is funky.
Mm-hmm. And so is this.
And it fits in. Mm-hmm. And they also didn't completely change the instrumentation and songwriting.
Right.
They just made it heavier.
Right.
Which was not the case with Nevermore's Sound of Silence.
Right. That was a swing and a miss for them.
God, it's so bad. I hate it.
The rest of the album was great.
The rest of that album is perfectly fine. But that song is fucking awful. It's bad. But yeah, they did a cover of Super Freak, and I thought it was really good. And then they covered a Linkin Park song right after that.
No.
I didn't realize that. Oh, sorry. I didn't realize that Linkin Park's Numb was a cover of this.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Different
it's
song.
One of the defining songs of my early childhood.
I think there's been a bunch of songs called Numb.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you're making vaguely depressing music,
sure,
then it's an obvious song title. Mm-hmm. It's short to the point. People get it.
Right.
People understand what it's supposed to be about. God, sometime I haven't thought about what we're doing next week. Maybe we do Meteora by Linkin Park. I don't know.
I'm down with that.
I haven't listened to anything Linkin Park in a very long time.
I saw them.
You saw it? Was that the same time you went to see Limp Bizkit?
And Metallica.
In the same place? Linkin Park, Limp Bizkit, and Metallica. It should have been another L band.
Linkin Park, Limp Bizkit. Well, but the headliners were Metallica.
I know, but I'm just for pure alliteration.
That was when James was drinking again, and that night he forgot how to spell Metallica.
How did he spell it?
He went, "Give me an M," and then everybody went, "Give me an E, hey, give me a T." T. He went,
Fuck.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that where Johnny's are.
Just skip the rest of it.
We just spelled Met for some reason.
Well, you're going to the Met. After that, everyone's going to go to the museum.
Yeah.
He thought he was in New York.
Sure.
Instead of wherever he was.
Denver.
Denver, okay.
Yeah.
He thought he was in New York instead of Denver. It happens. It's easy to confuse New York and Denver, all right?
Sure.
When you're in an open air music festival and you're looking out onto the city, it's easy to get the two of them confused.
It is, especially after you've had an entire liter of Smirnoff.
Looking out, seeing those mountains, just like, wow, I didn't think the Catskills were this close. They're a lot taller than I remember.
I can't remember anything. I thought this is true or a dream. Oh man, we should mock somebody
for drinking too much,
for having
an alcohol problem.
It's a real problem that he's had to beat a couple of times.
That he's had to be a couple of times.
Beat.
Oh,
he's
beat.
Had to beat.
Okay.
Oh,
it's a problem that he's had to be a couple of times. He's just had to be an alcoholic a couple of times.
Yeah.
It's not funny, but it's kind of funny. After the story.
Yeah.
After the story, it's kind of funny. There's nothing funny about addiction.
No, there's not. And if you're having a problem right now, there's a number you could call. There are people who love you right now that will bring you hope and help.
But if you shit your pants, it is kind of funny.
It's still pretty fucking funny.
It's still pretty funny.
Uh-huh.
So,
right.
Touche.
You know what's even funnier is if you're so drunk you shit someone else's pants.
See, that's a threat, though.
I'm going to shit your pants.
I'm going to shit in your pants. Don't make me piss in your pants. I'm going to shit in your pants, sir.
You know what's fun is when you threaten to fuck somebody up, but you just leave the up part off.
I'm going to fuck you. See, that is threatening.
That's very threatening.
That is extremely threatening.
I'm going to fuck you up.
Please put the up in there. Now I'm just thinking of one of my favorite threats from Dimension 20 Live, which was an angry gnome pirate screaming at one of the teens, I'm gonna shit in your mouth. And that character goes on to become like a basically like a specter haunting this character for the rest of time. They, in preparation for a one shot they did at one point, they made the pirate's name is Chungle Down Bim.
Sure.
They made Chungle Down Bim into a level 20 warlock. And tailored his skills and spell list entirely to being able to get a character down on the ground and shit in their mouth. He's a character built for one purpose. He will find Fabian Seacaster and he will shit in his mouth. So far it hasn't happened, but they also haven't done any Fantasy High stuff in a while on Dimension 20. Waiting patiently for more Fantasy High content from Dimension 20. But anyway, does this album slap?
Yeah, it slaps.
I would say it slaps for sure.
I love the guitar tone
they
on here.
slap with the bass
a
little bit on occasion.
A couple of times.
Slapping that bass and maybe slapping the guitar. I don't know.
A little bit, yeah. There's some guitar slapping in there.
A little bit of the guitar slappy. Yes, it's a good guitar tone. What do you think of the vocals on here? Because I don't feel strongly negative about them, but I also don't particularly like them.
Yeah, that's always kind of been a weak part of this for me. Sorry, man. I never really cared for your vocals if you're listening to this right now.
Yeah, the guy's name is Scott Holderby.
Yes.
Yeah, Scott Holderby. Yeah, his vocals are not particularly compelling. They're not atrocious, but they're not particularly good either. They're just kind of middle of the road. The delivery is a little weird. His accent is pretty strange.
Yeah, even though, I mean,
like, I know they're from the San Francisco area, but I don't know. I've never really heard someone from the Bay Area sing with such a strong, Central California accent.
Right.
I've never heard anyone sing with quite a strong California accent that wasn't the singer of a pop punk band.
Right, because that's standard for pop punk. Oh, you
can be from fucking Philadelphia and you'll do that voice.
We're from Kinshasa. We're from
Where's Kinshasa?
That would be in Africa. It's
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
I just didn't know.
Yeah.
Are you referencing something in particular?
No. I just
thought of a random city anywhere in the world.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some pop punk bands from there. Who knows?
Yeah. How do we some pop punk? Where you from? Mogadishu.
What's up? We're a pop punk band. We're from Berlin.
They have a California accent, singing in German.
German pop punk. There's got to be some German pop punk bands, but literally, what I'm picturing picturing on stage is, pop punk style outfits.
Uh-huh.
They're wearing khaki shorts, t-shirts, baseball caps,
right.
whatever. But it's just the guys from Rammstein and singing exactly the same way, but it's just, to the tune of a Blink 182 song. But singing Rammstein playing Blink 182 dressed up as Blink 182.
Du hast mich. Du hast mich. Du hast mich gefragt.
That was the inverse. That'd be Blink 182.
I guess it'd be the other way around. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
But in any case, it'd be funny. So I didn't look up. I can't really find any particular information about this album.
Yeah.
And about whether or not this is particularly remembered by people. And like I said, I had never really heard of these guys in any sort of specific way. So I don't know if this is an album that's really stuck around for people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got a lot of bands like we were talking about, sort of, the alternative metal, the funk metal scene, that area in the 90s. There's a lot of bands that sort of stuck around. Sure. And are known quantities in the metal world at large, whether it is Primus or it's Mr. Bungle or whatever. Those are names people remember. I don't know if people really remember Mordred all that much.
I don't think they do. I think they sort of are lost to history a bit.
Yeah. And it's just the people who are like you, who got a CD in the mail.
Exactly.
That remember them because it was one of the CDs you had.
And I played it in the dash of my 76 Vega that I drove.
Uh-huh.
I paid more for the stereo in the Vega than I paid for the Vega.
Because they didn't have CD players in 1976.
They did not. But yeah. But I bought that car at a time where you could get a car for $2.
Yeah. Can't do that no more.
Can't do that no more.
Can't do that no more. You pay more for gas, am I right? Everybody complaining about the expensive gas. Everybody's always complaining about the expensive gas. Doesn't make it go away.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's your favorite song on this record?
See, it's kind of, I'm torn because, I mean, I like the thrashy numbers. I like the opening number, which State of Mind. I like Spectacle of Fear. I actually like Numb at the last song on here. Yeah. Reckless Abandon's a fun song. But the songs I remember the most on this are Every Day's a Holiday.
Yes.
And Super Freak. I mean,
the two funky ones.
Yeah, the two funky ones.
Because they stand out. Because it's the rest of it's like, oh, it's decent thrash.
Yeah.
And then those two really stick out because they're like, oh, well, these are different and weird. Yeah, I mean, I didn't write anything down before we started, and I listened to this album 1.5 times. So I don't know if I could really truly tell you if I have a specific favorite.
There's some good riffs on here. There's some great thrash riffs.
I remember enjoying Numb. So maybe I'll just tentatively say that. But I thought their version of Super Freak was really fun. And Every Day's a Holiday. I thought Every Day's a Holiday was one of those things that was just like, what? You just kind of sound like kind of douchebags right now.
Yeah, the lyrics of the song and I think the delivery of the song is a little douchey.
It comes off kind of douchey. It's fun and kind of funky though, but yeah, it's just like you guys sound like douchebags. I get it. You were 22 when you made this album. It was the late 80s. Uh-huh. Everyone was fucking high off their balls on something. Mm-hmm. Life was good. Mm-hmm. This was a long period of economic prosperity in the United States. So everyone was having a good time. But yeah, I'll say numb. Mm-hmm. Why not? I got to say something.
Yeah. I've become so numb.
I can't feel you there.
Yeah. It's my favorite Mordred song.
Your favorite Mordred song. Chester Bennington. Certainly my favorite singer of the band Mordred.
Exactly.
I hadn't really thought about what to talk about this week or next week rather. So I guess I don't really. I threw out that Linkin Park suggestion. I don't know if I want to commit to that.
Yeah.
So I might have to find something else I want to listen to, but I will let you know. I've done this a lot lately where I'm like, I don't know what to do, and I'll tell you about it later. Yeah. But it's just because I really want to find something that's kind of compelling me lately, and that kind of comes in fits and spurts and whatnot of bands that I am truly enjoying and digging. So
it comes in spurts. It's just
So I'll find something here that I want to talk about and that I think we ought to listen to. But until I find that, why don't you check out our social media pages, you, the listener, on Facebook and Twitter. And why don't you subscribe to our podcast feed on either your Apple podcast app, on your iOS device, or you can go into your app store of choice and download Libsyn's The Podcast Source. And just get us straight from the people that put us on the internet.
Yeah.
I give them money and they give me bandwidth.
Exactly.
So
or if you're looking for us, you can also Google Ass Chaps.
Ass Chaps. Yep. Well, hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Ass Chaps. Today, you guessed it, going to be talking about butts. Hello, we're the Ass Chaps.
Yeah, good. Yeah, very good.
Hello, chap. Have you seen any good asses lately?
Why, yes.
I was at my uncle's farm and saw some good asses, if you know what I mean. It was my aunt's. Oh, delightful.
She's a pear-shaped cow.
Fuck shit. All right, let's get this over with. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Metalist podcast. I'm Kale.
I'm OJ.
Congratulations.